I'm Tannis Goulet. I'm a presidential diamond leader, and I have some incredible ladies sharing with all of us tonight. I'm so excited. This business, you guys, is life-changing. We have an incredible week ahead of us, the rest of the month, and just the rest of the year. Like, it is boom time momentum. It's crazy. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited. I've been fired up, and we are going to bring you guys the boom tonight, share our best tips, a little bit about our stories, and we're going to try and keep it around an hour and just share everything with you guys. I hope you have a notepad and a pen, and we're going to rock this tonight. So we're first going to start off with, I had this all written down, Amgbr. So Amber's going to start off with us. Hey girl, you look so
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. How are you guys? I am so excited. I've been checking my clock all day. I'm like, is it time? Is it time? Is it time? And so, we got together and we're just super excited to band together across all of our teams and just bring you some really great information. So my name is Amgbr Erixon. I have been in this business for 7 years. I am a former school teacher. So now that we are at the end of our school year, go ahead and send friend requests to all your kids as teachers if you have not done that yet, and ask them about the business. I know it's very nerve-wracking, but honestly, if someone wasn't brave enough to ask me, and brave enough to ask me again after I told her no, and then ask me again when I told her no again, I would not be here. I would not be making life-changing income. Now we say supplemental income. It started out as supplemental income. Now it's life-changing income, pay off your debt income, quit your job income. That's the type of income that we're talking about, which is available for you and your family. So I'm in Arizona. What I want to talk about is treating this business like you are the CEO. I feel like that this is such a huge topic, because a lot of the times, we are taught along the way through schooling, through, we go to the gym and we talk to a personal trainer, we go to a bank and we ask financial advice. We're always seeking advice from others. We're always asking for guidance. We're always wanting to follow in someone's footsteps. Now that we're in a business like this, we are our own CEO. You know what I mean? Like, you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to stay super plugged into your team. You need to stay on top of your 6 list. You need to be motivated within yourself. It's not your upline's job to keep you motivated every step of the way, every minute of the day. Hey, did you finish your 6 list? Hey, how many messages? Hey, how many host posts did you get out? That's on you, right? Like, you are your own CEO. And so, whenever, obviously we are people, right? We get tired, we get, burnt out a little bit. And so learn to rest, not to quit. Just because you're tired, it means you need to take a break. Put your phone away, go play with your kids. We have been giving this gift of time, truly. The days are long sometimes, but the years are short. And so, enjoy this time with your kids and work your business in a structured environment. Oh, good. I've already said something that someone liked. Woohoo! Learn to work your business in a structured environment. I don't want you glued to this thing 24/7. I don't want your screen time to say that you've been on your phone 12 hours a day. If that is you, you are doing this wrong. Okay. So if you need some help, you need to get out a 6 list. I'm sure on all of our team pages, there is a 6 list. There's, I'm sure we call it Core 4 and more, or, there's something on your team page that tells you the task list to do every single day. And so hold yourself accountable, and when you do get tired, when I get tired, obviously we all get tired. We're all like, oh my gosh, one more message. No, I want to go to bed. I want to watch Housewives or whatever. You can still do those things. This business is fun. But whenever I get tired, I think of Mark Pentecost. Mark Pentecost gets on live every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Now, I'm in Arizona in the States, and so when it's 10 p.m. in Florida, it's 7 p.m. in Arizona, and I'm exhausted. I'm like, I can barely stay awake. But Mark stays awake. Mark holds this company so high on his standards. He does not give up on us. He keeps the promotions going. He keeps the excitement high for us. He gets tired. I mean, he's like a grandpa. Like, of course, he's like, Papa Pentecost, you know, but he does it for us. And so if he does that for us, if Cami does that for us, if Pam does that for us, we need to do that for ourselves, because just as we are counting on corporate and Mark and Pam to keep the fire, you know, we're on Sunday calls every Sunday, like, all right, what you got for us? Let's go. Your family is waiting on you to do the same. Your family is depending on you to give them that same fire, to give them that same determination that Mark holds this company at, you know, at that high standard. And so Mark's not giving up on us. Pam's not giving up on us. He is proud to have us, these people that are on this Zoom tonight, us on his team, and you and your family are depending on you. You are your family's team. And so you have the power to treat this business as you are your own CEO. And CEOs, they don't quit. They keep going. They are focused. They are determined day after day. They set goals for themselves. And so we have a great distributor promotion going on this week of 50% off, right? So CEOs, they set the bar really high for their goals for their company. They set, you know, probably weekly goals, monthly goals, quarterly goals. So in the chat, I want you to put, what is your distributor goal enrolling? What are you going to enroll this week, distributor-wise, during this promo? We got a 6, 10. Let's light it up. Let it 5, 5, 5, 10. 3, 2, 5. Okay, that is so awesome. I see a 3, I see a 5, 30. Oh my God, 30. Okay, so those goals are fire. I am so inspired by all those goals. But CEOs, they don't just make a goal that makes them feel like comfortable, right? So if you typed in a goal that you're like, all right, I can do 5. Like, you're comfortable with 5, like you're talking to 10 people, you're like, all right, 5 of them are going to sign up. I just know it. If that's a comfortable goal for you, you need to break that glass ceiling, and you need to make a goal that makes your stomach turn, that makes you a little nervous, that makes your belly and your mind say, no, Amber, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. Right? Because that's that uncomfortableness. That's where we need to be. That's that zone of uncomfortableness that we need to live every single day, just pushing the envelope just a little bit more, because that's what true CEOs do. There you go, Maureen. I called you out, girl. That's what true CEOs do. They push that envelope every single day. So Mark Pentecost is our CEO, and he fights for us like we are his family. We are his family, and we need to, as business owners, of CEOs, of, you know, Team Erixon, team, you know, like, we are our own CEO, and we need to fight for our family, for our business every single day, and keep that that level so high, day in and day out.
I love that, Amber. Thank you so much. And you guys, it's so true that when we start this business, it's not a job, right? It's a business. So no one's going to come knock on your door, like Amber said, and making you do this, right? So thank you so much for sharing. That was amazing. I'm Tannis. I have been in the business 5 years. I'm a presidential diamond running for ambassador. And I want to share a little bit about my story, you guys. I joined, and the person who signed me up never spoke to me again. I figured things out. I went diamond in 3.5 months, and I had no idea what I was doing. But all I knew is that I was excited, I was consistent, and willing to learn. So the biggest thing I will say to you is, you know, for me, when I joined this business, we were so broke. I had to make this happen. And if you have a big why, you can go all the way to the top. If you join and you don't know why you're joining, it's easy to not work the business, right? So I had watched someone for a very long time, and she never asked me. And I will tell you right now, you guys, I watched her every single day. This isn't the girl I actually ended up signing up with. I ended up signing up with someone in my hometown, which I don't know. Anyway, but you guys, the biggest thing was that she was excited, consistent, and she talked about her business, her products, and her life every single day. So I will tell you right now, if you are not talking about your business, if you're not talking about your products, your business is closed, right? So you have to really think about that. You know, I'm very careful with what I post on social media, but I'm very vulnerable and open about my life. I promoted quickly to presidential diamond, just under 2 years. And then, you know, I had life happen. You know, my dad got sick. You know, then my mom got sick. You know, my dad ended up passing from cancer, and then my mom was diagnosed. And the biggest thing, you guys, and I was pregnant too. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was crazy. But you know what? My business was the one that held me through this. You know what? We have paid off over $70,000 of debt plus. You know, we're debt free, and it's because I always show up. You're gonna have people on your business and on your team that don't show up. It's gonna happen. And if I stopped when people stopped showing up, I wouldn't have even made it to executive. So the biggest thing in this business is it's a decision. And when you're excited, consistent, and staying close to the fire, you guys, when I was in labor, I had my little guy's 9 months, I was like on my phone and I didn't have notifications. My husband's like, what are you doing? He's like, I turned off your notifications. I'm like, well, I just need to check something. And he like, you have to be so, when you are close to the fire and you are excited and, you know, everything changes and you show up, you become confident. And even if you're not confident, you do it anyway. And that's where the confidence comes. One thing I always say to my team, I will not tell them and recommend them to do something if I'm not doing it myself. You know, Denise, who's my up line, I'm like 15 levels underneath her. You know, she always says, if you want 10s, you got to be a 10. So if you want to attract those rock stars in your business, you have to work like that diamond right when you join. That's what I wanted. And I had no idea, but I printed out my diamond chart right away. And guess what? I had a roadmap. I was excited. I stayed close to the fire. I got on every Sunday night. I never miss a Sunday night family call because we just know to get on the call, right? We just know that. And when you are close to the fire and you're connected in the team pages and the chats, and like Amber said, you don't have to be glued to your phone 24/7, but work smarter, not harder. I will tell you, when you have a plan and you're consistent, excited, coachable, willing to learn. I'm red, but I'm very yellow as well. And you know what? I push myself because no one's going to do it for me, right? You know, I got to presidential diamond by doing it all myself. And you know, I followed up with someone, and I've followed up with people that have been my best customers and best distributors, and it's all about planting those seeds. But if you aren't consistent in taking your business seriously, you can't expect people to take you seriously, right? I will tell you, when you plant those seeds and you're always in your business, people are going to think of you when they're ready to join. But you have to follow up with people. You know, I always say that, you know, the fortune is always in the follow-up. Like, I say that over and over and over again because it's true, you know. But if you're going to follow up with someone twice and say, oh, they're not interested, well, no, they're going to go join with someone else because that's your fault for not following up with them. So the biggest thing I want to say is that your energy is going to attract people or it's going to not attract people. You know what I mean? What I'm saying. And I will tell you, this business has brought so much in my life during my darkest times, you guys. You know, like I said, I got to presidential and life happened. Guess what? I was still making a top income for years, being able to be with my dad and going through all this because I just kept showing up. But if I stopped showing up, my business would stop showing up, right? So if you treat this like a business, you will have that CEO income. You will. You can make $100,000 a month if you want. I mean, I don't think any of us are there yet. I'm not saying you're going to do it this month, but you can soon. Maybe not too soon, but you know what I mean. But you know what? The biggest thing, you guys, if you are consistent, excited, and you're always willing to show up, you are going to make things happen. So my biggest tip, you guys, with this distributor promo, follow up with every single person. Tell people you want them on your team. Like I message people and talk to people every single day. If you are talking to people, guess what? They're going to think about you. And I do believe in the law of attraction. I do believe in attraction marketing, but you have to give them something to watch. You have to give them something to want to join. If you're like, oh, no one's joining me. Okay, when did you last do a business post? You have to be talking about it every single day. I don't know if you guys saw, I shared it on my team page. Amber Parker shared the other day about, you know, talking every single day about, you know, your business and just everything in your life. You can't expect people to know what you're doing unless you're talking about it, unless you're reaching out to people. I know people after 5 years, they still don't really know what I do, but that's my job to connect with them. That's my job to ask them. you asking people, this can change their lives. My biggest regret was waiting over a year to join this business. I just wasn't ready. But people will join when they're at rock bottom and ready to join. But you have to be that 10 that people want to join. And it's just staying plugged in, doing that personal development, knowing what you want. And I chatted with all my newbies lately are on fire, but it's because I'm excited. If I just join them, I'm like, hey guys, let's do this. But I want to be that person that people want to follow. And so the biggest advice, you guys, follow up with people. Katie's laughing at me. But you guys have to be that runner in your life if you want runners on your team and you want a successful business. It's key with everything in life. How you do one thing is how you do everything, right? If you want something to show up for you, show up for your business, and I promise you, it will eventually show up for you. But you just have to be that person that's going to show up every day, even if you don't feel like it. So that's a little bit about me. And I'm wearing my ranch hat, you guys. I went to the ranch in September, and it was incredible. And yeah, this business is amazing, you guys. Anyone can get to the top of the company. I've seen girls on my team go from $500 to top income earners. You know, it's just, what's the ranch? Katie, you know what the ranch is. It's Mark Pentecost Ranch. So, was that Katie? Anyways. Yeah, I went for this legacy event. Anyways, she's just being a bum. Anyways, okay, next up is Sarah, and I love what Sarah's going to share. And yeah, go ahead, my dear.
Hi, you guys. Okay, so my name's Sarah Ardizzone. I have been in this business, actually, my 8-year anniversary is in 3 days, which is just mind-blowing to me that it's been that long. I've never done anything work-related for even half that long before. So yay for that. So I'm really excited. It's gone by so fast, you guys. So when I started, just a little bit of background about me. When I started, I was in a not so great relationship. It was very, verbally and emotionally abusive. I had 2 little boys at the time. They were 3 months old and 19 months old. I was waiting tables 60 plus hours a week, picking up extra shifts every chance I got just to try to, keep diapers on my babies and food on the table. We were on WIC, we were on food stamps, we were on state health care, all the help that we could possibly qualify for, we did. And it was just such a struggle. And so when I joined, I just wanted an extra $100 a month. I figured, I lived in Arizona at the time and it was May. And so I knew my electric bill was about to go sky high. I know Amber knows what I'm talking about. And so I figured, even though I needed more than $100, I didn't know how to dream big. Like how Amber was talking about earlier, like I never knew how. Like I grew up pretty broke. And so I just figured an extra $100 would help me just relieve a little bit of that stress over the summer to pay that electric bill. And so fast forward, I hit the ground running, and I had no support from who was then my significant other. It was like World War III every time I even mentioned anything relating to this business or the products. And so it was interesting to try to like put my head down and get to work, but I just made it work, right? Because that's what we do when we need a change so badly. And so I gave up sleep and I did all the things, and I went triple diamond in a year, you guys. And looking back, I'm like, how on earth did I do that? But I just did it. I just ran. I was so laser focused. And then life happens, right? Because that's what always happens. There's always going to be life stuff that gets thrown at you. And so for me, what that looked like initially was the week or 2 weeks after I went triple on my 1-year anniversary, I left my now ex, and the things got out of hand. It got violent and physically abusive, and all the crazy bad things happened, and cops and all those things. And so thankfully I had put my head down and gotten to work over that first year, because that's what allowed me to take my boys, go rent a new house, pay for everything, including completely furnishing a new house on the spot with cash without even having to check my bank account, where otherwise I would have been in a shelter with my kids. And so for me, I feel like that was such a huge turning point in my business, because in that moment, in that, that time of my life when I was going through this horrifying breakup, and I had a 1 and 2 year old baby boys. I was working. Actually, I had just quit my full-time job, or my regular job, my restaurant job. So I was doing this full time. And so I remember I left on a Wednesday, and that weekend I had 5 parties. This is way back when we did wrap parties like crazy. But I had 5 parties booked that weekend. And I'm like, yeah, I can take my kids with me, but do I really want to? Like, do I need to reschedule? I did not want to take my 1 and 2-year-old little boys who got into everything with me, but I did, because in that moment, I could have easily quit. I could have easily said, oh my gosh, my life is falling apart. I could have put this on the back burner. And then what would have happened, you guys? My entire business would have fallen apart, and I would have ended up quitting. I don't even know where I'd be right now. So fast forward, I use that time, instead of, getting into my funk and getting into this deep depression that I could have easily slipped into. I chose to focus all of that energy into my business, which would then solve all of my problems, right? Because most problems and most stressors in our life comes down to finances in some way, shape, or form, right? And so for me, I realized that, I guess, and I'm very thankful that I did. And so I just focused all my energy. If I was sad, if I was angry, if I was depressed, if I was annoyed, if I like whatever I was feeling, even though I didn't necessarily feel like working or feel like being cheery on Facebook because of everything I was going through, nobody on my Facebook even knew, unless they were a close friend of mine, what I was going through until 3 months later, when I posted something about, I don't know, my cat being my only sleeping buddy or something. And everyone was like, what happened? I don't understand. And so, I would just encourage you, because, that was just one of many things along the way, right? That was 7 years ago now. But, since then, there's been times when, I moved across the country, didn't know anybody. People get sick. Just recently, Tannis was asking about this earlier. I had this crazy sickness for the past month. Ended up at urgent care. I've gotten swabbed for COVID 2 different times. I've had 3 rounds of antibiotics, all these things that are like, I don't want to work. I have all this life shit is just like happening to me. Right. And so I would just say, when those things happen, whether it's a family member who's sick, your car breaks down, you lose your job, you're on quarantine and you're freaking out because you can't work your regular job. Well, guess what? Instead of being depressed about that and freaking out and stressing out, use the time to build your business, because that's going to solve the other problems, right? Again, be intentional with your time. You don't need to do it 24/7, but dive into your business. Use that energy, even if it starts out as, negative energy because of whatever mood or state that you're in or whatever you have going on. Redirect it into your business and fake it till you make it. I found for me that, the times when I've whether I'm super tired or I'm just not feeling it or whatever the situation is, even if it's just an off day, when I go and I make it a point to go live in my team page about something, like a quick tip, or start reaching out to people, or start getting some host to post up, or something to grow my business, I snap out of that mood so fast, you guys, so fast, because as you guys probably know, if you've been in this more than 5 seconds, every time you have a new potential that you're talking to, whether it's a potential customer or a potential distributor, that excitement comes back every single time, and it doesn't change even 8 years later. I still get just as excited when I sign a new distributor, or when I bring in a new customer that I get to help with their goals, as I did, my first week in the business. It's still so exciting for me. And so I would say, in those times when life is just throwing stuff at you left and right, and you have that choice, sit back and relax and mope and just put this on the back burner, or dive in, you guys dive in, because I swear it's what's going to change your entire life, is that one decision. And yes, it might be a decision that you have to make multiple times as life keeps throwing more stuff at you, but it is so worth it. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. And quick tip for this DT promo, go back, you guys, this is what I've been doing all day. Go back to all of the people who have ever hosted a post for you. And I know some of you have people tag you, some of you save it to a collection, whatever you do. I went back today. I spent hours. I went back all the way to just last summer. I haven't even gone all the way back, but I went back to last summer. And I actually have a group in my Connect app. If you don't use it, you definitely should. I have a group literally just for the people who host posts for me. And so that way I can easily message them and ask them again to do a post for me. And so I sent out a message, and you don't have to, rush to write this down because I'll throw it in the chat, but I'm just going to give you an example of something that I sent to them today. And I've got so many conversations started right now that I can't even keep up with them. And so I just said something like this. Hey, I know you've done a few posts for me in the past in order to grab an entry into the cash giveaways that I've done. And because of that, I just had to ask, have you ever thought about doing this business with me? You can totally ignore me if you think I'm crazy, but I think you'd be awesome at what I do. You're already on social media and I would love to work with you. Are you open to hearing more about it? It's so simple, because honestly, if you're doing a host post giveaway that involves cash and people are entering, guess what? They need money. So why aren't we asking them? So that's my tip, is just reach out to everyone who's ever hosted a post for you.
I love that. Thank you, Sarah, so much. And to add to that, what I wanted to add earlier, I signed a couple distributors today, and they were just people that I've been chatting with. And ask your customers, you guys. Ask your customers. I promise you right now. Sometimes we don't think about that, but thanks so much, Sarah. You're so great. Next up is Melissa. I'm so excited for her to share her story with us. Hey.
Hey guys. Okay, so my name's Melissa Dean. I'm a triple diamond. I've been with It Works for 5.5 years, which is so crazy to think about. And just this last year, we were top 150 in the company for income earners. So yay, Diamond Dynasty. But I joined actually on Christmas Day, and I had no plans on joining the business. I didn't know anything about the business. One of the girls that I worked with she became a distributor, and she was selling skinny wraps. I had 3 babies in 3 years. So I just had my littlest, and I was like, oh, tell me about these wraps, right? And so she tells me about them, and I'm like, okay, so after Christmas, I'll get them. We always hear that, oh, after Christmas or after coronavirus or after whatever, then I'll get it. Well, she said, well, what about making money? It's only $40 more and you can become a distributor. And I was like, girl, I don't know who you think you're talking to. I work 70 hours a week. I have 3 babies under 3. My husband is a SWAT officer in the top 10 most dangerous cities. He works nights. I work days. I will fall over and die if I take on anything else. But thank you for thinking about me, and I totally just kind of brushed her off, and she never said anything about it again. But on Christmas Day, I was in retail. So I worked for Victoria's Secret as a market manager. So we were working round the clock, 24 hours a day from October to February through semi-annual sale and Valentine's Day. And so I was just exhausted that Christmas, and we didn't have a tree. We didn't have presents. We didn't have anything. And the kids were all under 3. So I just threw some toys in a bag, and I was like, here you go. There you go. And my husband was working. So I was feeling really bad for myself on Christmas Day. So I went on her website, you guys, to buy the skinny wraps. And by the grace of God, I hit join instead of shop. And I cannot tell you to this day what made me do that, but I'm so thankful that I did, because we went from literally living paycheck to paycheck, having over $200,000 in debt, to being completely debt free. We have over 6 figures in our bank account, and we just absolutely love our team. And we're really leaning into more of servant leadership right now. And our goal is to open a church plant this year in Mexico. And it's just I've grown so much as a leader. I'd always been in management, in retail management, hospital management. I'd always been in management, but I was never really a leader. And so I chose to talk about mindset tonight. And I'll be completely honest with you guys. When I would hear people say mindset on Zooms, I would always go, oh my God. So if this is you, that was me, because I didn't understand what it was. And I'm like, what do you mean mindset? I don't have time to read a book. I'm over here hustling, or I don't have time to do this. I'm trying to get this done. But what I did was, because I was the most uncomfortable with that, in January, I started doing a morning mindset with my team every single day, 5 days a week. And it pushed me outside of my comfort zone so much. And it really taught me that everything in life, guys, is won or lost in your mind. So self-development and mindset are crucial to your business. If you're not getting uncomfortable with the things that you're doing, the goals that you're setting, like Amber said, and really pushing yourself, then it's literally death to your business. So if you're not growing, you're dying. And so that's why mindset is really such a key thing. And when you think negatively, your actions are negative. And so you're going to get a negative result back. But if you think positively and you have positive thoughts, then you're going to get a positive outlook and positive, positive results. Like things are going to come back to you. And if you think about people that are the happiest, they're the people that have the most gratitude. They're the ones that are the most grateful. It doesn't matter what their life circumstances. They could be, homeless on a corner, but they're thankful because they have a blanket. You know what I mean? And they're happy as can be. Or it doesn't matter what your situation is. If you have gratitude and you practice gratitude every day, you're going to have that. Your mindset is going to be more and more positive. If you feel like you don't have that kind of positivity, or maybe you're in a slump, like Mike Portillo used to say, jump the funk. So if you're in a funk, some ways that you can fix a negative mindset is to surround yourself with like-minded people. So I could tell you 9 times out of 10 by pictures of the people that you hang out with, how successful you're going to be, because we are the sum of the 5 people that we hang out with the most, because they influence every single thing that we do. So you want to elevate who you are spending your time with. So if you have that negative Nelly person all the time in your ear, like, I can't believe you're doing this business, like it's a scam, blah, 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 blah. Bye. Just, you don't need all that. And it doesn't even have to be about the business. It could be negative, anything. I had a friend once that every time she came over, it was just like drama, 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 brain dump, brain dump, brain dump. And I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to take a break from you for like a month. Okay. Like, because it will affect your mindset. So surround yourself with like-minded people. Follow people that you want to be like. Find those people that you can relate to their story, whether it's Tannis' story or Sarah's story or Amber's story or my story. Like there's people that you can relate to, and then just follow that person, follow their journey, and then start journaling. So make sure that you put down goals, put a gratitude thing down, 3 things that you're grateful for every single day. And then make sure that you have a vision for where you want this to take you in the long run. So without vision, people perish. So you always have to have that, what do I want to do with this at the end? And once you have a positive mindset, you guys, magic happens in your business. Like, I'm not even going to lie. Like last December, I was at probably one of the lowest points in my business that I had been since my first year. And so January 1st, we started Mindset. Our team volume, I should say our team volume doubled from January to February to March, March to April, and it's going to like quadruple April to May. And it's all because we have done mindset training together as a team, money mindset, morning mindset, gratitude mindset, like an hour out of your day every morning before you start your day. Like get up before your kids get up. Like once my kids get up, it's game over. So like we're getting up at 4:30 in the morning. We're like doing these things. And it makes you so much better. It makes your day start off so much better. And then when your mind is right, guys, there's this distributor promotion. So you better get your ass in gear. Okay. So when your mind is right, you're fearless. Like when you are ready to go, you're pumped, you're hyped, you have this goal, you just go. Like just go and go and go. And go for the no. There's a book called Go for the No. It was one of the very first books I read. And you honestly, like Tannis said, follow up. And for me, you guys, I follow up and I follow up and I follow up. Even if they leave me on red, they can leave me on red 27 times. I'm still messaging them, because if they're not responding, that doesn't mean no. It means not right now, or maybe it's just not the right time for them. Maybe they really want to, but they're scared or whatever. Just keep following up. And at the end of the day, what's the worst thing that can happen? They're going to block you, right? Great. Now you have room to add another friend, because most of us are maxed out on friends anyway. So, and really, I think of it as like, it's their loss, not ours. Like we have the golden ticket. We have such an amazing business. And so my very first green carpet, I heard one of the Black Diamonds speak, and she said, behind every no is a yes. And so you just keep asking, and then you never know who that yes is going to be. I was going through a slump a couple years ago, and you guys, I signed like 20 distributors a month. So like a slump for me is like, oh, I only signed 2. It's like mid-month. And I'm like, I'm not going to go do anything with my family until I sign a DT. And I got on Instagram and I sent messages and I signed my double diamond. And then I went out and had a great time in the pool with my family, like set those little goals. So that's my biggest tip, is just ask. You have to ask. It's a numbers game. And you know what? Honestly, if you want to become a top 150 income earner as a triple diamond, you need to become a master DT enroller, because that's where the money's at. Fast start bonuses, diamond bonuses, promoting up the ranks. I made over $14,000 last year in fast starts on $99 fast start bonuses. So that's how you get where you get. It's not about mass enrolling or customers. Like if you do that, more power to you, 100%. But go for distributors first, and then go for customers second. And then if you talk to somebody like a lead ladder, so you talk to them about being a DT, they say no. Okay, well, would you be interested in trying any of the products? They say no. Ask them to host a post for you. Every conversation you have should have an end result. That's how you maximize your time. That's how you don't end up working 14 hours a day on your phone. And so I would really challenge you guys, every single person, there's 123 people on here. Everybody that said that they want to get 10 distributors, you need to be messaging at least 40 people every couple hours for the next 3 days. And just ask. The worst thing they could do is say no. And I liked what Sarah said on social media. They don't know who you are anyway. It is so much easier for somebody to tell me no that I don't know than for like a friend or family to tell me no. So I will straight send messages all day long to people I don't know because if they say no or they block me, it's no skin off my back. I don't know who they are anyway. You know, if they say yes, then I run with them, you know? So those are like my biggest things. And I would really encourage you guys, once you get off of this tonight, after everybody speaks, to send 40 messages before you go to bed.
I love that. Thanks, Melissa, so much. And you know what? I love it when people message me. Like even people message me, I mean, they don't know what I do, and they send out a message. I'm like, yeah, you go, girl. Like, good for you. Like, you know, I love go-getters like that. And I support other women in business, you know, and we support each other. And you're going to support those people who are very serious about their business. You know what I mean? And people are going to support you as well. So don't feel bad about asking. You are offering a life-changing everything, right? So thank you so much for sharing. Estee, I'm so excited to hear your story, and Estee's going to share now.
Hey everyone, I'm so excited about tonight. So today is actually my 5-year anniversary in the business. So that is super exciting. It goes by so fast, which is crazy, but then it's also such an amazing journey at the same time. So rewind. I was going to say fast forward, but that wouldn't be right. Rewind 5 years ago. I am personally enrolled by Sherry Alcala. We have been friends for 15 plus years, and this is really funny because she actually asked me almost every day for an entire year to join her in this business. And I said no. I was like, no, I don't think I could sell anything. Like, that's not me. You can sell trash off the street. That's how you are. Like, this is not something that I can do. And I continued to watch her. And then she was getting these bonuses and promotions. And then she started recruiting half of our friends that were like, we all went to like Bible college together. And I was like, wait a minute, if Kelly Brown can do it and Stacey Alcala can do it and all these people are doing it, like, why can't I do it? But then I was still secretly watching her. And at the same time, I was praying for an opportunity. My husband was in the oil field. He was making great money, but he was working a lot of hours away from our kids. At the time that I finally said yes, I was 6 months pregnant with our third baby. I am a full-time homeschool mom, which, you know, now is like everyone's a homeschool mom, but this was back before homeschool moms was a thing. And so I was already doing that. And I was like thinking like, Sherry, like literally like, there's no way I can do a business and homeschool kids and have a baby all at the same time. You're crazy. But I finally got to a point where I felt like God was just giving me that nudge. Like I was trying to say I was looking for an opportunity, but it was like anything but this, you know, like where you're praying for something and then something's like knocking. So it was that. And then finally I just was like, okay, I'm going to give this a try. $500 extra would probably do us really good, you know, especially so I don't get in trouble every single week for my Target spending. And so this will probably be something good. And so I finally just said, yes, I'll try it out. Just don't be on my back about, I'm not trying to go presidential diamond or diamond on on your timeline. You know, like I was so scared of like, I was not getting into this to go like double, triple prez, nothing like that. I was just going in to be a Ruby. And literally went Ruby in a month and then promoted pretty quickly. Within a year, I was triple. And then I went prez last year. And it was just a crazy season. My dad was diagnosed with cancer a couple months before I went Presidential Diamond. I was at the point of pushing my business so hard and really working really hard. And of course, isn't that what happens, y'all? Isn't that what happens when you're pushing like so hard for something? The enemy just attacks and hits you any which way that he can. And I was feeling like I had worked for this for so long, like, why is this happening? And of course that happened. But like, you know, I remember my dad telling me like, you worked really hard for this, like you're going to do it. And I just knew I had to. So in March of last year, I went Presidential Diamond, and my dad passed May 10th of last year, exactly, of cancer. And it was a very fast thing. Like he pretty much passed within 6 months of us finding out he had cancer. And I remember even after that, you know, they always say run with the momentum of your business. Well, there was a lot of momentum, and I didn't keep running because there was just a lot of life that hit me. And that's just what we're all sharing, is just like life hits. And, you know, I remember wanting to be in the top 150. I remember all these goals that I had. We made amazing paychecks, but God was just so good, because at the time that we needed those paychecks the most was the time that I got them. The time that I was sitting along my dad's side in those course of those couple of months, being by his side through those last days. I was 6 weeks in California. I'm from Texas. I was 6 weeks in California, and I was able to get paid as a Presidential Diamond while being able to be by his side. And it was just such an amazing blessing. And this business has just been that over and over for us. God is so faithful. $130,000 in bonuses alone that we have been able to receive in this business. And it's always come at the perfect time. My husband right now is unemployed. He's in the oil business, as all of you might know. The oil is almost kind of non-existent right now. And so he had a thriving oil business that's now kind of plateaued. It's kind of at this standstill. And we know when the time comes, he'll be able to get back in it. But for now, again, this business is holding us up. And it's not just holding us up by a thread. It's literally covering everything. And again, is God showing up when he needs to show up. And one of the things that I wanted to just share with you that is so important to my heart, and I speak to my team about this like a lot, is just talking about your story and sharing your story. And from the very beginning of my business, I've always shared what I wanted to make happen. One of the things that I wanted to make happen was retiring my husband, or relieving stress from him, because he worked so much, and I was a stay-at-home mom at the time. And I always just remember feeling like, man, I'm already homeschooling the kids, and I'm already doing all the mom stuff, but like, what else could I possibly do to contribute financially? Like, he's working so hard, he's away from us, and I just felt like there was no more that I could give, and that's where God brought this opportunity in. And so he gave it to me as a gift, and it was up to me to decide what I was going to do with it, right? I could either be scared, or I could jump all in and trust him with it, and that's what I did. And so I shared every day from the time I joined what I was going to do with this business. I was scared about what people were going to think of me. I have that personality where I care too much about what people think, and I had to get over that mentality very quickly. And so I talked about my goals with the business, and then as the time went, slowly all of those things that I was talking about were starting to happen. I went ruby, I got a bonus. I went diamond, bonus. I went double, I got a bonus. But I talked about those things. I talked about what I wanted for my husband. And so I was able to show and share my story. I didn't start off as a Presidential Diamond and be able to say what I was making. I didn't start off saying that I had made $130,000 in bonuses. I started right where most of you were at, which was coming in at the very bottom, starting off. But you have a story to share. And one of the things that's so important for you to realize is your story is not everybody else's story. Your story is your own story, and it's very unique. But if you're not sharing it, if you're just constantly, and we copy and we take and we do all those things, and that's okay. We really, like, I feel like we're one team, one mission, so we do that, and that's okay. But you also remember that the people are going to buy into you before they buy into your business. They are going to sign up with Estee because of who she is and what they're doing, and they'll buy the products before they're just going to buy into the products. They're going to start watching you over and over tell the story of how my husband lost over 60 pounds using these products because he was stressed and working in the oil field so much and not in a good place, and then started using these products because I said, do this, it'll really help you, and then become a product of the product. And then he started to see that I was just this stay-at-home mom with no college degree, just for a passion for my family. That's it. My why was my family. It was nothing more. I didn't have no sales experience. I'm still the most horrible person technology. Anyone on our team in Diamond Empire knows, like, I don't know how to do Excel sheets. I don't know how to like load. I actually like message Melissa Dean about half of the stuff when it has to do with anything green or like uploading and doing any of that stuff. But I did it because I just decided, and I made whatever worked. I didn't have a laptop until I was after Double Diamond. I did everything from my phone. And so you don't have to have all the things to be successful in the business. You have to have it right here in your heart. You have to make that decision. Is my family, is my life, is my why so important? Does your why make you cry? When you think about it, is it that important to get you up every single day and decide every single day that I will do this business because of my why? And if so, are you talking about it? Does your audience get to see who you are? Do they know that you have kids, or do they get to hear about your kids? Do they get to hear about your husband and his job and his stressful job? Do they get to hear about that kind of stuff? Do they hear about what God's done in your life and how important he is to you and what he's brought you out of? Your dirt and the things that you've gone through is going to be somebody else's victory. And so if you're not talking about those things, you're not going to tug on anyone's heartstrings, and you're not going to get anyone's attention. Okay. So you have to be real, you have to be authentic, and you have to be transparent about who you are. And it doesn't have to come from a place that you've arrived. It comes from a place at the beginning. It's just sharing your heart, sharing your why. It's so easy to talk about your kids. If you love your kids, you don't have to know anything crazy. Let's just talk them, you know, like that's so easy to talk about, or your husband or your marriage or whatever you're going for. Those are the things to talk about every single day, not every 10 days, every week, but every single day I'm on my post and I'm talking about what's important to me. And so I feel like the majority of the time that I bring in distributors, it's quality. Okay. It's quality because I feel like there's something about my story that's been tugging on them, and they've been watching. And so they want to join my team, and they're already committed before they've jumped in. They're not just seeing money and then join. They're seeing a story. They're seeing a lifestyle, and they're seeing all that. And so they're deciding to join in. So that is kind of one of the things that I just want to talk about. And I'm really huge about this with my team. It's just like, okay, you're having an issue signing DTs. Okay, let me go look at your Facebook. When's the last time you shared about your story? When's the last time you shared about your kids? When's the last time like, I know you've told me this over the phone, but I don't see it right here. Mm-hmm. I don't see it on your Facebook or your Instagram. And so those are what's important, is they need to hear this. You don't have to write perfectly. You don't have to have everything put together and looking all perfect, okay? But you do have to share it, and people will be able to tell that you're genuine, and they'll be able to tell that from your heart. And so that is like one of the biggest things that I feel like, especially right now, it is $49.50 and we're shooting for distributors. Go and look. When's the last time I've shared my story? When's the last time I've talked about why I'm doing this business? That is what's going to bring you, distributors in. My last post that I just posted was about my 5 years, and just talking about, like, the people that are fearful are the ones that don't think they can do this, and the ones that are worried about what people think. And then I put at the end of it, text brave to my phone. I just got 2 messages that said brave on my phone, because they're reading, but they probably wasn't the first time they read my post, but that one just tugged on their heartstrings. And so just make sure that you're doing that. Also, just creating your belief system within your team, but within yourself. Like, what is the belief system? Are you doubting that you can do it? Are you doubting that your team can do it? Whatever you're casting out is what you're going to get back. So if you are casting this vision for your team that they can do this, they can go diamond, then they're going to do it. If you're casting that vision for yourself, like, I'm 100 GV away from ambassador, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to hit ambassador diamond. And that creating that belief system trickles on down to all my downline, and they see, okay, Estee's 100 GV away. Golly, I'm like only 2,000 away. I surely can hit it. And it starts trickling and thinking like, okay, I can hit that too. And so that's just my biggest takeaway from being in this business for the course of the 5 years, and just knowing that part in particular, I can say that I have showed up for that every single day, and it has worked. So.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Wow. You guys, I have chills. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing. That was amazing. And I'm so sorry about your dad, because I understand that. Oh my gosh. But he's so proud of you, and I'm rooting you on for ambassador, girl. That's so exciting. Good for you. So thank you so much for sharing. Samantha. Hey girl. Busy mama. I'm so excited for you to share your story here. Are you unmuted? There you go.
I am.
Yay.
How do you even go after that, girl? Dang. All right, y'all. I am Samantha Bowers. I am a presidential diamond. I am a mom of 4. My oldest son is 15. We have a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and our youngest just turned 17 months today. I've also been in for 5 years. We just hit 5 years in March. I am a top 75 income earner, and I am absolutely in love with this company and what I do. I'm a former restaurant manager, so I used to work for a steakhouse, and I used to serve steaks and beer. That was my life, 65 hours a week. I missed literally every single moment of my kids' lives. Passed my husband at the door. The only time we ever saw each other was when we laid our heads down at night, and that was it. And it sucked, you guys. Like, it was not a good life. We were really far in debt. We were living paycheck to paycheck. We were paying for groceries with change that we found around the house. We were on food stamps and government assistance. Like, it was bad. It was at the point where we did not know how we were going to dig out. We would play roulette with our bills. Like, it was just not the best life. And we also knew that we didn't want our kids to end up living that as well. So I want you guys to comment in the chat if you feel like you are not good enough to be in the VIP ranks of the people that you are listening to right now. So I want you guys to drop a me in the chat, because that was me. That was me the entire time from the day that I joined this business until probably when I hit triple diamond. I did not feel like I was worthy of being in that position. And that fear was so crippling that it held me back. Like, it was just something that I was like, I can't even go diamond. Like, I'm not good enough for this. And the girl that had enrolled me had actually left the business as well, and her enroller. So it was just like this, they can't even do it. How the heck am I going to do it? But I also knew what I had my hands on. I knew the products were amazing. I knew that there was money to be made. I knew that there were bonuses out there. But I also came from a small town, so I was just stuck. But I kept doing my self-development. I kept listening to my leaders. I kept, I plugged in with the upline that I could find, because like I said, mine left. And I just decided, that I was going to do this. So that want for, a little bit of money, that $150 to $500 a month when I first joined, slowly evolved into me wanting something more. But I definitely had a slower start. I was not one of those distributors who jumped in and, went Ruby overnight. It took me 3 months to go Ruby, 7 to go Emerald, 2 years to go Diamond. I went double the month after, sat there for another 1.5 years before I went triple. We went triple 2 months after we found out we were expecting our 4th child. And the month after we had her, I promoted to presidential. So if this busy mama of 4 can push through not only having 3 kids, but a husband who worked full time and being pregnant with the worst morning sickness I've ever felt in my life, and have a baby promote the month after I had a baby, anybody can do this. And the biggest way that you are ever going to get the work done, especially right now with having your kids home, I have 3 of them in school and a toddler running around. Like, most people would be like, I can't do this. And they would let that excuse just succumb all of their feelings and their emotions, and they shut down, they won't work. So you've got to be smart about the way that you spend your time. I love to make lists for myself. I will write a list the night before I go to bed of the things that I want to do the next day, and I will make sure that I have that plastered in front of me, and I work off of it all day long. You've got to get ahead of your kids. So if you need to get up an hour before they do just to bust out some work, catch up on some messages, let your team know that you're going to be doing school for the next couple of hours, you'll be around again at lunchtime. Be super vocal with the people that you're working with. You can't just let all of the things build up. If your phone is going off all morning long while you're trying to teach your kids, or while you're doesn't matter what age they are, like, no matter what you're doing, if all of those messages are pouring in, you're not going to be efficient about your time, because it's going to be this big stress ball that's building up for you. So you have to make sure that you are ahead of this. My team knows that in the morning I'm busy teaching my kids. You can message me, but I'm not going to get back to you until around noon when they sit down to eat lunch. Like, I'm super vocal with them about it. I'm also really vocal with my husband. We are pushing to go triple diamond on his account this month. So he knows that I am working for 2 weeks straight. Leave me alone. This is why I'm doing it. This is what we're going after. At the end of those 2 weeks, I will be your wife again. But you've got to communicate with everybody around you. Even if you're not married, or, you're dating someone, or you're single, you have to tell your friends, you have to tell your family, you've got to tell your kids, you've got to tell your spouse. Everybody needs to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. That way, when you disappear for a couple days straight, everybody knows and nobody feels resentful towards you. We talk about bonuses and money all the time. Our kids are well aware of what I do and why I do it. We incorporate everything with them. They really want to go on a cruise next year, and they know darn well that if mommy doesn't get the work done, it's not going to happen. So make a dream board with your really loud and proud about it. If you need to sit down with them one night and have them pick out a couple of things or experiences that they want to do and put it on that board just so they can take ownership of this with you, then absolutely do it. You don't ever want to go into this blindly, not having the rest of your family knowing exactly what your goals are, especially if you have children, you know, around the age where they are definitely aware of mommy being on her phone all the time. Mine love to call me out. They love to go, you know, well, mom, you're on your phone, so why can't I go play my iPad? And I have to tell them, mommy is working. This is my job. If I was not doing this, I would be in the restaurant and you would not see me. I would not be tucking you in at night. I would not be there for bedtime, bath time, family dinners. I would be at work. So you've got to communicate with them. And in order to keep your head on straight and to make sure that, you know, your goals are right and you're in line with what you want to do, absolutely copy the right cap. With me not having much of an upline to rely on until I went double and I found out who my ambassador was, and I was like, all right, I'm going. I had to follow other leaders. I had to go to their Facebook pages, click follow and click see first. If so-and-so would put up a post about this, I would go do a post about the same thing, change it around a little bit, but like I would just do what they were doing. If you want to get to where they are, you've got to follow in their footsteps. You're not here to reinvent the wheel. You're here to get in the car and drive. There have been thousands of distributors before you do the things that you are trying to do. It's already set in stone, whether it's host a post or the messages that we're sending or the way that we're talking to people, the things that we're posting. We're already doing it. You don't need to try and find another way to do it. You just actually have to start somewhere. So I'll give you guys a little bit of a tip on following up with distributors. I am a pretty big distributor enroller as well as customers. So I am huge on flipping the switch. So if someone hosts a post for me, before I am done speaking to that person, I am offering them the opportunity. So I will get them to put that host a post up. And as soon as they are done, I am thanking them and I am asking them if they ever thought about an extra stream of income. There's nothing wrong with asking every single person you talk to, what's the worst thing somebody's going to say to you? No thanks, I'm not interested. And I always take that as I'm not interested right now. So I will follow up with them again later. I will follow up with them in a couple of weeks and say, you know, hey girl, you're posted really well. You know, I know we talked about you joining me in this business and you weren't ready then. Have you put any more thought into this business with me? So it's just a matter of continuing to check up with them. It took me an entire year to join with my upline. So just imagine that the next person that you're checking in with might be your next VIP distributor. So don't ever count anybody out just because they told you no 15 times. But that's all I got for you guys.
I love that. Thank you so much, Samantha. And I know you're so busy. You're a busy mama. So thank you so much for sharing. Tavia, why can I unmute you? There you go. You can unmute yourself. I'm excited for you to share your story with everyone. Go ahead.
All right. Hi, guys. So I am Tavia. I'm from Ohio. I've been in the business for 4.5, almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in October, which again, like everyone else has said, it's gone so fast. I am an advanced practice nurse, you guys. And quite honestly, you know, I was super skeptical, just like some of these other women. I thought, you know, I was supposed to go to college and you're supposed to get that much student loan debt and you're supposed to get a degree and work for 30 plus years and then retire and make half of what you made when you were working, right? I thought that was the American dream. But little did I know that I was praying for something that, you know, God put in my path and I was kind of denying it, just like you've heard. And finally, I just was like rock bottom, like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to jump in. You guys, I didn't have social media when I joined. I had no Facebook. I had no Instagram, literally started from the ground up. So for those of you that are maybe starting with like 2 friends or say you don't have a network or your family doesn't support you, trust and believe, like, honestly, that's not an excuse. So I want to talk about comparison. So first I want to know, like, drop in the chat if anyone has ever compared themselves to somebody else, oh, I see so-and-so join the same time I did, and she's already advanced 2 ranks beyond me, right? Or I see so-and-so posting and she's so pretty and she does it so good and her words are so good, but I can't do that, right? We get in this comparison wheel. And so first, guys, I say this a lot, but comparison is the thief of joy. It will steal the joy and suck the life out of you the more you allow yourself to compare yourself to what other people are doing, right? It is almost like you're comparing your chapter 5 to their chapter 25. Why are you doing that to yourself? That's their journey. That's their lane. You're in your journey on your lane. And I know Sam talked about it, guys, there is nothing wrong with getting inspiration from other leaders, but there's a difference between inspiration and emulation. You don't need, and you did not hit the submit button to join this business to be like Sarah, to be like Tannis, right? No, you didn't do that. So you are you, that's your power, right? And you need to continue drawing on that. We had a really good talk, last night on our team Zoom. And I said, I heard this from someone who said, what is success? A lot of us think success is just enrolling customers, enrolling distributors. And it is, right? But success is also moving from one failure to the next failure without losing momentum. How powerful is that, right? Think about that. It is going from one no to another no to another no and not losing the enthusiasm you had, right? Whenever you wanted to start sending those messages out, right? So that is success too. Never underestimate the power of a no, the power of a yes, the power of a maybe, the power of a not right now, okay? Because it all matters, okay? And so another thing too is do it overwhelmed. You hear all these women, did you just hear multiple kids, 3 under 3, all this do it overwhelmed. Every single one of us is overwhelmed in some way, shape, or form. Did you really think that life was not going to be overwhelming? Who are you to have this amazing, simple life? None of us do. And I can guarantee you none of us do. So no matter what you do, and every single day when you wake up, do it overwhelmed. And as much as you want to try to create structure and boundaries, is it always going to be perfect? No, it's never going to be perfect, right? So do it overwhelmed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just start doing it, okay? The other thing I want to say is for those that join, okay, let's say you have someone join in your team, right? And they're not taking action. They're like, you're thinking, oh my gosh, what am I not doing? Am I not giving them resources? What's happening? Why aren't they catching the vision, right? Listen, I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. For those of you that join and say you want to get into VIP, or you say you want to be in the top 150, or you say all of these things, right? Because talking and doing are 2 separate things, right? But you must not be that uncomfortable in your life to actually make the change happen. You hear every single one of us on here, working 60+ hours a week, working multiple jobs, having multiple kids. I mean, guys, listen, at the end of the day, if you're not completely uncomfortable with the situation that you are in, then you're never going to force yourself to change. So start getting uncomfortable, because that's where growth happens. It is never easy. It's not something that we're just like, yay, I just want to be super, uncomfortable, but that's what it takes. Do you really think that none of us who got to VIP, we were super uncomfortable? It's still uncomfortable, right? When I think about presidential, I want to vomit. When I think about ambassador, that's like a whole different ballgame, right? But again, guys, if I'm not uncomfortable, I will never grow. I will never change. I will never morph. I will never, get to where I'm supposed to be. And another thing I want to say too is, guys, stop waiting until the end or waiting until you cross the finish line to love that journey. Stop waiting for this miraculous paycheck to happen before you start accepting the fact that this business is everything you ever wanted it to be. I know one of my leaders today went live in our team page, and she was like, no matter if you're not where you wanted to be, you're still further than where you are when you hit submit. So there's joy in that. There's happiness in that. Start having more gratitude and less scarcity of a mindset, and start really believing that, you know what, okay, I may not get there next week, but guess what? I'm going to get there. And as long as I show up, and as long as I do it overwhelmed, and as long as I get my butt up and do every single thing that I know how to do, I'm going to get there, right? And I had a good talk with Kelly Brown a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, Kelly, I need a little bit of your yellow. Listen, she says, the leader of the pack is the leader of the pace. What pace are you setting for your entire team? What does that look like? Stay in your lane, guys. There is no reason that you have to go over 2 lanes to be in the same lane as another ambassador diamond. That's her lane. Stay in your lane. There is absolutely nothing wrong with your lane. You have everything you need to be able to get to ambassador diamond. But the only thing that you're lacking, more than likely, is belief, right? You're lacking the ability to stop comparing yourself to other people and start enjoying the journey that you're on and where you're going, okay? And then the other thing I want to say is that you guys, we're always going to face adversity. Something is going to happen. I know they talked about it earlier today. You ever get to that, you're like right there, and that promotion, you can freaking see it, taste it, feel it, you know it's right there, and then something happens, right? Something happens in your personal life, something happens in your business, someone leaves, whatever it is, right? Something happens. Do you guys think that wasn't part of the plan? I remember like reading this book, and it was like, sometimes one of the hardest things to do is to face the death of the life or the journey that you thought you were supposed to be on. How hard is that, right? I thought I was supposed to get there. You guys, I was supposed to go triple the month before I actually did go triple. And something tragic happened at the end of the month. No joke, right? And it was devastating. But whenever I did go triple the next month, I look back, and now even a year from now, because I've been triple for a year, I look back and I'm like, wow, that was a blessing. You guys ever go through that when you're going through the mud? It's like, this is horrific, right? And you're like, how did I even get over this mountain? How am I going to get over this mountain? Then whenever you start taking one foot in front of the other and you get to the top, and then you look back down, you're like, oh my gosh, I freaking did it. I did it. And how amazing is it? So hindsight's always 20/20. Hindsight is always 20/20. But what we forget to do is show gratitude and thanks for every single part of that journey, because every single part of the journey, the good, the bad, the ugly, has shaped you to be the leader that you're supposed to be. Because if you don't go through the mud, how are you supposed to bring your team through it? And if you think that you are, inept or you're not going to go through the mud, that you think you're just going to avoid it or go around it, guess what? I'm sorry to say, but it's probably not going to happen, because every single one of us, adversity is going to happen. Okay, but you have to get up. You're going to scrape your knees, and I hope that it hurts, because every single failure, I do hope it hurts, because guess what? That's when you change. That's when growth happens, right? You need to get up, and you need to go again, and you need to go again, and you need to go again, right? So the last thing I will say before I give you my tip is, if you're faithful with a little, you'll be given a lot. So start being super incredibly faithful for even the one customer that you signed, the one distributor that you signed. Stop saying, oh, woulda, coulda, shoulda, oh my gosh, but she signed 10 people, I only signed one. Be grateful for what you have, because you never know with a little love what it can turn into, okay? Now my DT tip is every single time before I check out a loyal customer, and a lot of you may do this now, but if you're not, you need to, I actually send a message, okay, before I put your order through, just so you know, or I don't even remember, I'll have to send it in the chat, but before I put your order through, I just want to ask, because I'd kick myself if I didn't, have you ever thought about making income as well? Or something like that. It's literally like 2 lines. It's so super simple. I've been using it for a while, and I can put it in the chat, but if you're not asking that question, you should start. So that's my spiel.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Tavia. That was amazing. I'm fired up. Now we're gonna finish off with Katie. There you are, my dear.
Hi.
Katie.
Oh my. Okay. Hi, everybody. All right. Sorry, I just got distracted for a second. Let me shut my door really quick. Sorry.
Katie and I were joking that the Zoom was going to go 5 hours, but don't worry, it's not going to.
No, we're like, we could be out here for 5 hours. So, hey guys. All right. So I have so many great things to say that I'm just going to recap my story really, really quickly. But you guys, I joined this business 7 years ago. So I know I'm hearing 3 years, 5 years. You guys, I've been in this for 7 years. I was just a girl in a bar that got a Blitz card. I was a loyal customer for 2 years. I was going to school to be an event planner. I was asked if I wanted to do the business a bunch of times. I said, no, no, no. Finally, when I graduated, I could not find a job with my degree. And I was like, okay, I got presented with this opportunity again, and I thought, why not? Because I wanted to be able to just cut back 1 day a week at my job and save for a car. And so when I hopped in, my goal was Emerald, and 7 months in, I was able to do that. A year in, I was able to go double diamond, quit my job. Yeah, Katie in a bar, weird. I'm super blue. I'm super blue personality. So I've been full-time with this business since 2014, and fast forward to 2016, I was able to go presidential diamond, and I was in the top 100, and things were amazing. And then you guys, life happened, and I was a little too cocky, and I told my upline, I'll never lose rank, and I was just kind of in that place where I didn't think that anything bad would ever happen to me. And I love what Tavia said, you cannot teach other people things if you don't go through the bad things yourself. And so that was so true. And had we gone ambassador in 2016, we would have lost that too, And so your why is going to change over time, but here's like my best advice, you guys. This is a career. This is a lifelong commitment. When you press submit, you freaking committed to this, okay? So no matter the highs or the lows or the ups and the downs, the things that you go through, this is a commitment. You have to stick to it. And you might have to grow a lot and read a lot of books and listen to a lot of podcasts and do a lot of journaling and a lot of meditation, and things are going to change for you. But you committed to this. If I can like have permission to get super real for a second, I have no respect for quitters. I don't care if I'm not the fastest horse on the track, but you will not see me quit. And when people say I'm discouraged, you know what? I'm just going to tell you this. Tough shit. You know what I mean? People are going to tell you no. People are going to quit. People are going to change their mind. You don't change your mind. You don't quit. You stay right here where you're at, like Tavia said, in your own lane, doing your thing, and that's all that you need to worry about. Okay? Things are going to happen. People told you no. Things change. Trust me, I hate when things change. I hate when people tell me they're going to do something and they don't do it. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. But you do what you say you're going to do. You stay right here. You committed to this. You married this business. There are highs, there are lows, and you don't love your relationship every single day, but you're not going to leave because you committed. All right? So don't you dare sit here and say, like, I'm discouraged. All right, tough crap, guys. Don't say you're discouraged. It's just a no. It's just a bad day. A bad day doesn't mean you have to have a bad week. Doesn't mean that you have to have a bad month. Doesn't mean that you have to have a bad year. It's just a bad day or a bad couple of hours. You can change like that. Tony Robbins says, how fast can you change? Fast. Within the snap of a finger. So even if you feel tired, literally, if I ever feel tired during the day, I just get up, I make myself a cup of coffee, and I'm like, no, I'm going to change that fast. And so what is your identity? I want you to ask yourself, what is your identity? Do you identify yourself as an ambassador diamond? Do you identify yourself as somebody that is bubbly or super successful or super money oriented? Like, how do you identify yourself? Because I was reading about this in one of our books that we're doing with a book club with Mary Beth about how to lead when you're not in charge. And it just hit me because I could be sitting there like about to fall asleep. But if you want me to be a hype girl on a call, that's who I am. You're going to show up for who you feel like you are deep down inside. That's going to come deep within. Literally, I was laying in my bed in the dark a couple hours ago, and I was like, I got to call. I got to be the hype girl. I got to go. I got to do this for them. That comes from deep within. So who do you want to be? Who do you, like, if your identity is something now, who do you want your identity to be? And I'm just going to throw my distributor tip right into all of this. But I want you guys to make a list when you get off the Zoom tonight. Promise me. My team's probably like, geez, Katie, you've asked me this 3 times already this week. Listen, you're going to make a list. And do not just write down 3 things and think it's okay. I want you to work on this list and work on this list and go to your upline and work on this list. Let me ask you something. Why should I join your team? Why should I can shop around I can join with anybody in the whole company. I can go join with Stephanie Dunn, number 1. I can go join with Sherry Lynn, number 2. I could join with any of the hundreds of thousands of distributors on the internet. What makes you different? Why should I join with you? I want you to ask yourself that. And I was asking some of my girls that this week, and they're like, because I'm nice. And I'm like, okay, you're nice. Great. All right, that's a start. You're nice. What can you help me with? What can you do for me? And really just sit down and think about, what can I do for people? And I sat down there, and one of my girls threw it out. Well, why should I join with you? I said, I've been using the products for 9 years. And I was like, whoa, I've been using the products for 9 years. That's pretty crazy. You guys, Sarah and I have the same anniversary. It's my 7-year anniversary on Thursday. But here's the thing. So even if you fall down, you have to get back up. All right. And there's a couple of things that you're going to have to do. First off, you're going to have to decide. Like you've heard that 100 times. You're just going to have to decide where you're going. One of the girls already said on this Zoom tonight, where there is no vision, people perish. It's literally in the Bible. You have to show your team where you're going. If you don't put where you're going into the GPS, how are you going to know where to go? You can't lead your team somewhere if you don't know where that is. Right? You have to decide where you're going so you can lead your team there. And so here's the thing. You can't give up on this. This is a commitment. Tough shit. Things happen. You got to keep going. And here's the thing, you got to lock arms with your team. Who do you have that's working? Do you have one person? Just one. All you need is one person to link arms and say, hey, I want to go here. Do you want to go here with me? It's way more exciting to go there with the other person. You guys, find out, you should know the people on your team. You should know what their kids' names are. You should know what their husbands' names are. You should know what their goals are. My mom was in another company when I was little, and they taught them to know that you should know the color of the carpet on their living room floor. You know what I mean? You should have a sticky note on your forehead. You should walk around as if everybody that you speak to has a sticky note on their forehead that says, make me feel important. You know what I mean? What are your team's love languages? What do they like? What do they need help with? Where are they at? I asked my girls, where are you at on a scale of 1 to 10? Just link arms with them, even if there's only one person. You know what I mean? Get on a Zoom with them. And you guys, I have this tracker, and somebody else said tonight on Pam's Showing the Money call, they said, go for it even if you're not halfway. We're not even halfway to our goal this month, but we're going for it. Because I looked at volume today and I was like, oh my gosh, we can do this. You have to have the belief in yourself. You have to have the belief in yourself, and you have to believe in those girls, the girls that you know the color of their living room carpet, and you know their kids' names, and you know their love languages. You have to believe in them so much. You have to believe in them more than they believe in themselves. And you have to know where you're going so you can lead them there too. Right? So, and you guys, don't miss stuff. Don't miss stuff. This business has to be your priority. It has to be your priority. Stop making excuses for not showing up. We lost about 40 people, since we've been on. And I know we shouldn't worry about the people that aren't here, but why aren't you here? Did you get tired? Because I hear all the time, oh, I got tired. Oh, I had to go to bed early. Well, we don't go to bed early on nights when we have Zooms because we got to learn stuff, right? You guys, we had his parents over yesterday unexpectedly, and we had 3 dogs downstairs, and it was a freaking mess. And I was like, guys, sorry, I have a power hour at 1 o'clock. I will be gone for 60 minutes. And I was up here on my team power hour for an hour while there was chaos going on downstairs. They were here at my house, but I made a commitment to my team's power hour. He just came in and distracted me for a second and said, I'm going to bed, and he's in the next room, and I'm over here yelling because I committed to this Zoom. You got to be here. Don't say you have to go to bed early on team Zoom night. No, you don't go to bed early on team Zoom night. That's not what we do. You know what I mean? If there's conference, you go to conference. Once we start doing the team stuff and the in-person stuff, you go. That is your commitment to this. You are married to this business. All right? And if you show up for it, it's going to show up for you. And the one piece of advice that Pam gave me, and obviously I'm an example of this, is you have to wake up with the energy every day. She literally told me this over the phone. She's like, I don't care if you have to wake up and do like 10 jumping jacks. Like, she meant like physical energy. You have to, I know it, I make it maybe look easy to be the hype girl. That's just who I am as a person. But you're the hype girl for your team. You are their hype person. They may not have anybody else in their life that gets hyped for them. They may not have anybody else in their life that tells them that they can do it. I literally lay up at night sending messages to my team saying, you can do it. You got this. You can. Because maybe nobody else says that for them. So decide that you're going to be the dark horse. I don't care how far you got. I got to Presidential Diamond and fell all the way back to Diamond this past winter. But I don't care. We're going to Ambassador this summer. That's where we're going. We fell so we could learn from it and have stories to tell later. Pick yourself up and decide where you are going and commit to this business and commit to the next 100 days. What are you going to do in the next, 2 weeks, and then what are you going to do by the end of the summer? Just make the commitment. It is not too far. You can. You can.
And Katie's going to come to your house to make sure that you do, okay? We're sending her out on our private jet. I'm calling Mark, and that's what we're doing. So, oh my gosh, you guys, thank you so much for just sharing your hearts with us tonight, and I am so fired up. It's really all a decision and then showing up for it. We know that, right? I mean, we all have crazy lives. We all have stuff going on. And we always say every 6 months, something big is going to happen in your life. I literally felt like 2018 and then 2019, I felt like the devil was hitting me so hard, you guys, but I kept showing up because this is a commitment. This is a career that will change your life when you keep showing up. Where else can you make $500,000 a month if you want and not have any type of education? right here, you guys. So I want you guys to know that whether your goal is diamond, double, triple, presidential, ambassador, people are making those happen every single day. And it's just believing that you can do it, doing the things that you need to do, showing up, showing your team that you're showing up. There's so many times I didn't feel like showing up. I was on my phone today. I was trying, my kids were crying. I was trying to do homeschool. I was signing up a distributor, and that's just life. But where else can I have my husband and I both home, you know, in a home that we bought and just living the freedom? I'll share one last thing, and then we can close this down for the night. I want to share one last thing, and I was sharing this with my team, you guys. 5.5 years ago, I was a gym manager and I was a bartender. And anyways, I was working for someone who literally had it all. And I was running all his gyms. I was working crazy long hours, and then I was bartending too. And then I had my daughter, and things were crazy. But you guys, he has closed down all his gyms. He said to me the other day, he says, Tannis, you were way ahead of the game 5.5 years ago when you started an online business. You guys, do you know what we have our hands on? You can become a millionaire. You can change your entire family's future and legacy. You can change everything. I've made more money than my entire family. My brother and his wife used to make fun of me, and they have huge jobs and huge careers. I make more money than them because I choose my paycheck. So don't let the naysayers, don't let anyone bother you. Use that as fuel. And I will tell you, I'm so grateful for all those naysayers. I'm so grateful for the people who have, you know, success looks like this. And I want you guys to know, wherever you're at right now, we've all gone from the top. My business was on fire. I was making ambassador paychecks. Life happened, but I still show up and I still make incredible income because I choose to keep showing up. And so what I want you guys to know is that we are all praying over you and your families, your lives, your goals, and just everything. And you just decide every single day that you are worthy, that you are deserving. And guess what? Everything's going to show up for you. Your relationships, your marriage, your kids, your life, your future life, whatever that is. But it's going to start with you. Okay. And we love you guys. I love you guys. And I don't even know a lot of you guys. And I just want you guys to know that whether I'm your upline, whether whoever's on your upline, you know, Shannon, I love you. Just know that you can have that switch and that shift in your business and your life starting now. Who cares about last month? Who cares about this past year? You guys, do not just go after what you want now, because we've all been in the gutter. We've all been in the gutter. And I could have just given up when life hit me hard, but I decided to keep going. And you're always going to have people that are willing to run with you if you just keep showing up. So Katie, I know you were the hype girl, and you got me hyped up, so I want to talk. But I love you guys. And
thank you, everybody.
You guys, thank you so much. And I'm sorry we went a little bit over, but thanks for those who stayed up. Thanks
Thank you
so much. I appreciate it. Bye. Go sign up for distributors.